Okie dokie. So this is our Pilates session together. There are always options. We're going to come to lying down, and even that has an option. You can have your extra layers on, even have a blanket, have a cushion. You can have knees bent, you can have the legs open. Always mixing and matching, listening to your body. I'm going to do the same thing. So let's get to it. I'm just going to lift myself up. Come on back down on the floor. Again, slide that cushion in if you need it. Have things on hand ready for you. And then I'm just going to come down. I'm going to pop my feet down. I'm going to gently wiggle or lift and lower my shoulders. Same is true through my abdominals and through my pelvis. I'm just going to let myself settle here into a nice, calm, rhythmical breath pattern. So for the moment, it feels quite comfortable on my lower back. It feels quite comfortable on my upper back. I'm feeling relaxed. If you don't feel relaxed in the initial position, just change around, mix and match, see where you are falling into that calmer version of your breath pattern, along with the positioning of your body. I also have my eyes closed, so there's that extra layer of me being able to kind of tune in to me. Breathing in and breathing out. Just letting yourself gradually settle your body into the mat. If you need to have different options at different times, there's absolutely your class here, so you do whatever you need for your body. But if you're okay to do so, we're going to start that process of breathing, nice and regular breath patterns throughout the entirety of your body. So your gentle inhale into a gentle exhale is more than likely that breath cycle you naturally have, the one you came to this class with. Hopefully by the time we get to the end of the class, you'll have a deeper awareness of how you're feeling, a deeper ability to kind of get that breath to work a little harder for you, supporting you both stretching and releasing the body, along with holding and zipping up and getting our core engaged. But for the most part, at the beginning, I'm after quite a calm version of this breath. We will do more as we get more confident. So, taking that inhale, taking that exhale, taking them as they come. Let them wash over the body. Let yourself be guided by a mind-body connection that you are kind of getting there, kind of getting into that element of control. It's never going to be perfect. You're always going to have your mind wander. Just bring it back. Be present with your breath for me and let it kind of wash over the body. Let it rise and let it fall away. You're taking your calm, you're taking the inhale, you're taking your calm exhale. Let that inhale rise up and let the breath come on into the chest, into the upper back, in and out through those shoulders, and let yourself roll through for me. Roll into that deeper version of the exhale. Creating this version of breath that really suits you and that you are in charge of is always the perfect position to be in. You want to be in charge of the breath. You want to be in charge of the movement. You want to feel supported. The best way to have that control, is to take control of our breathing. So taking control of our breathing right now, maybe including a little extra layer of something through and inside of that exhale. Taking control of some abdominal awareness, making a controlled contraction. So being able to zip up, thinking with your mind's eye from the very base of your pelvis, drawing that breath right on up and in. Make it a full body breath, so make it that you are reaching each and every point throughout your body, that the inhale has more width to it. It also has the length, but it's a really beautiful full inhale. Then when we flip that switch and we're in that exhale, let's have a full body into that exhale. Press and push that breath away for me, out of the body. In doing so, synchronize with the diaphragm, which is inside there, round with those abdominals. It's all connected. Could we have a little bit of pelvic floor lift? Could you feel that rise from within? Could you put a little hold with it? All questions that may or may not have a yes answer to it right now. So don't worry about it. Going with the flow of how you're feeling right now, as opposed to where you want to be, it's a journey that will get there. So don't worry about whether I'm saying the thing that matches what you're doing at exactly the same time. Go with the flow of your breath. We don't necessarily need to hold the breath, but there's an element that you can kind of have 4 parts. So you can have a kind of lull at the bottom of this before you inhale and rise. Have a little lull at the top before you let that breath cascade down. But in doing so, can you wrap that exhale around you? Can you feel that corset coming in, drawing in and up to a central point? As simple as thinking of your tummy button drawing in, but making it your own. So when you've got that rhythm, make it work for you. Put a little extra hold through those abdominals if you can. Recruit more muscles because you're staying there a little bit longer. And just play around with how you're feeling. Staying in control. Keep the rhythmical breath going. Give me a fuller version if you can for maybe just 2 more breaths, 2 more of these lovely deep exhales. Make it work for you. Put a little extra hold because you know maybe you've just got 1 more. So inhale, lovely, and rise. Big, big inhale. Zip it up. You got that exhale. Hold, hold, hold. And soften. So calm. Bring that calm. Definitely you'll know the areas of your body that could do with a little more calm. It could very simply be the top of the shoulders, between your shoulder blades or wrapping around the shoulder blades. Upper back is one of those areas. As to is the lower back into your glutes, which kind of leads you into hamstrings and calves as well. So although I'm saying many parts of the body, it's entirely up to you where you kind of sense that you could do with a little bit more awareness. So being kind to yourself here with the kinder, calmer version of your inhale, the kinder, more relaxing element, less core engagement. Maybe there's still residual awareness within that exhale. And give me about 3 or 4 more of these. You're calm, you're engaged still, you're aware, but you're calmer with that breath. You're letting it flow through the body. Breathing in and breathing out. I'm just going to come back down on the mat and meet you. Because what we're going to go with, if you're okay to do so, is just a single side for opening your hips. So I've got my right knee. I'm going to hug it in. Sorry, I had both feet flat. I'm going to hug my right knee in. I'm gently going to hold it open. So try not to drop so that it arches your lower back. This is one of those ones where you're stretching but holding through the core. And then when it comes across, just give me the crossover. It's a nice classic figure 4 stretch. And just gently press in. We're not going to thread through at the moment. And then if you can, cross it across the body and then gently go into a T shape with your arms. So here, we'll pull you deeper around that hip of the crossed over leg and into the glute. When you come back, slide it back. So you've got that figure 4 with a little bit of downward pressure inside the knee. This time, let's take that same leg up, but have whatever version of a hamstring stretch, holding or rolling. I'm holding and rolling my ankle here. And then let's hug it in and hug up. And then this time, let's slide the leg out and up. Just slide it along the mat. Get in some core engagement for me and just press it through. When it comes back this time, maybe have a flex foot. Doesn't mean you come up to it necessarily. If you want to, you could gently hold the calf and gently hold the toes. If you've got a band, lovely one to put a band on. Now just roll it round. The bigger the better for opening that hip, but be mindful, I still need your core here. So just go round and in. Have you changed direction? Bring the knee in, roll it to the side. If you need a little wiggle or a little pause or a little something that I haven't mentioned, pop it in. This time, put the feet together with the T-shaped arm and just let yourself rock over. Same side, so you're going to stretch the exact same side. This time you may have a different version of stretch through your waist. And then when we come back, we will swap sides. You might lift and lower the shoulders. I'm just going to hug my left knee in. Be a little calmer because you're starting that awareness on the second side. Have a bent knee, even if you put the toe down partially as it's coming round. Coming in, coming out. If you haven't changed directions and you want to on this one, you might do one that's more hovering in the air. From here, maybe just lift and lower that leg. Maybe just take it out on the angle. Maybe you're ready to go across the body. I could have a flex foot, but I just have quite a calm position for the ankle. Gently press on the inside of the knee. Gently here. This one's helping to open up your hips and your piriformis muscle. And then here you might give me that hamstring stretch. You might give me the wiggle. If you're feeling any tingling or anything, maybe it's through the foot, maybe it's down with the calf, just back off a little bit, but maybe you need to concentrate on a stretch or a manipulation through the foot at another time even. And then I'm just going to pop it back on. So I've got the ankle on the outside of that knee. Gently does it to press it down, again, without tipping in that direction. Just keep your hips nice and neutral. Breathing in, use those abs, breathe it out. I'm just going to cross over. If it's not for you, just put the feet together. But I'm going to cross over. T-shaped arms are in. What are you feeling through the chest? What are you feeling through? Are there shoulders attached to that? What are you feeling through the waist? When you come back, pop both feet down. And this time, maybe you give me the bigger version of a straight leg away, knee bending on the angle, roll it back in. If you have a different version of this, or you already want to do one in, one out, you absolutely can. If the knees don't like this, you could do it where you're holding the leg or holding the knee if you're getting any clicking or something like that. Same is true of the ankle, you can change that position. And then I'm going to bring that leg back up. Same as before, should you want to, you could gently hold the calf, you could gently hold the toes, if that's available to you. If not, and you've got that band, this one would be a lovely one with the band. Then hug the knees in and just give me an open position. Again, I always pop in a bit of extra wiggle through the ankles. It really does help to loosen up your calves, and maybe you can actually wiggle through your toes, spreading them and flaring your toes here. And then from here, I'm going to go to the side. Feel free to just rock and roll and come up a different way. When we're up, because we've just been down there a little while, I'm just going to walk it round, and another version of our hip opener. Coming onto the all fours, pick a side. I'm going to put right foot forward, plant my hands, and just give me an in and out. So depending on how your wrists feel, they can be the same as your ankles, and that flexion here might not be as kind to your wrist or any tingling. Then make fists for me. You can also hold something else or elevate. So elevate on a cushion, that might be nice. So here we're just opening the back, opening the glute, opening the hamstring, and gently does it. You're in and you're out of this stretch and release here. Let's swap over now, back to that neutral. Just swing it round, out of your own way, pop the other foot down, plant the hands nicely, gently does it, come on in, come on out. Releasing and breathing and gently moving through the body, easing yourself in, easing yourself out. You may or may not have more of a C curve than I have here. You might have more of a leg extension. You might be more flexible on one side than the other. But just give me one more there and back. Lovely. From here, just come around and either sit on the knees open or just sit on the heels, sorry. You are on the knees, not on the heels. And just gently open up your chest. If you want to do thumbs up with soft sweeping arms or bigger stretching arms, I'm just going to keep mine open and out. So I'm going to keep palms down and pull back, thumbs up and open up. And just gently that goes into a bit of a softer sweep. So, options for this first exercise together. We're going to do up and down planks, but I'm going to work it that you can do any combination of this that you feel comfortable with. If you want an elevated version, so you're actually not putting all that weight through your arms, brilliant to do it on the seat of a chair, a sideboard or a table, maybe even a sofa. I'm going to start us off with a box position, just doing the arms. Then we can do the legs, and if you want to do a full plank, you can, but otherwise it's move number one. We can still use it as a nice warm-up. So, flat hands, if we're coming on the box position here. Try not to drop the head, always try to think of it in line, so you're always keeping the eye line slightly ahead of you. When you're coming up and down, it's exactly that. It's nothing more complicated than pressing down, pushing up, and then just the other hand kind of comes with you. So then I'd swap to the other side. I'd go down, down, press, press. It's not as simple as just up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm using my core. When I push away from the floor or your chair, you're going to have that energy through the arm. It's going to transfer to the chest and the shoulder and push you up really nice and strongly. So taking this nice strong stance through my core, you can't see it with my jumper, but through the base of my pelvis, through my core, Lovely flat back. I'm going to go down, down, up, up. Other side. So you get a nice equal pressure down through the heel of the hands. And you also just feel like all things are equal. So keep swapping. If you do want to do a couple on one side and then a couple on the other, that is another great option. If you are standing, you can have slightly soft knees or a full straight leg for your plank. If you're ready here on the mat to give me some up down of your legs, I'm just going to walk forward a little bit. From here, my up down legs, same box position to start me off, but I'm going to kick out, come back in, kick out and come back in. So not worrying about up down arms and legs, I'm only doing the legs. So it's a real leg extension, real strong engagement. I could just walk out and walk out. That's not what it is. Let me just move a little bit this way. The idea is to have that power through my core, through my thigh, through my glute, through the calf. Soft knee, breathe in, step it out. Soft knee, breathe in, tuck the toes, push out through the calf, use the core. Soften the knees, breathe in, exhale. Every movement pattern that you do can come from the core. If you are not engaging your core to the fullest extent in the easiest options that we present to ourselves, we are missing a trick, because we can really activate and fire up and get ourselves in the zone mindset-wise by just starting as we mean to go on. So walk it through, strong shoulders, strong arms, strong into my triceps, strong into my core, glutes, thighs, calves, heels. It's all going on. Last one each side. Breathe in, breathe it out. Lovely. I suggest we do a little shake out, whatever that looks like for you. Me, I'm just coming here. So try not to throw the arms around, but the very simplest way to release the tension is a flick it out. If you want more mobility or a bit of everything, you can wiggle it all out. Wiggle and shake, very technical. And if you're standing, you can just stand and do this. You don't have to come back down on the mat. And then what we're going to come into, we're going to come into our T-shaped planks in exactly the same way. This time, because the last one I suggested you could, but I didn't give you the arm and leg option. This one, if you want to do the fuller plank, that could be your kind of next progression. And our T-shaped plank just means we're walking through the middle from one side to the other, and you're giving me a star shape. You're giving me a classic side plank because you've got the straight legs. If you want to stay against a wall or on the chair, the base of a chair, flat hand, reach that arm up, and you can keep both legs together. You don't have to lift a leg. You could come back in the middle, and if you're standing, you can push your bottom back, have a down dog stretch, straighten yourself up, and give me the other side. But if you're going to be here, down on the mat, same options apply in terms of T-shapes or leg lifts. We've got box position or we've got forearm planks. So there won't be loads of them because I prefer us to do less is more as our kind of philosophy. Plant the hand in, tuck yourself around. So just scoop that leg underneath you. And then I've got a pointed toe and a lovely stacked reaching arm up above the other. You can walk it through. Use the core even when you're walking through. Just have a little residual hold. The other leg comes around. And I reach it up. If you want to look up, you absolutely can. If you want to look out on that diagonal, if you don't want the arm up as high, if you're able to lift that leg, and when I say lift, it's really just to hover that leg in line with your hip, and that toe and knee are in line with the hip. And as you roll round, you may or may not repeat it on the other side. If you're okay to progress for me, and you want to give yourself a little of the higher intensity option potentially. Come down on the forearms, and then I'm just going to rock in, elbow in line with my hand or my fist, and you could still give me the same thing, but you are putting weight into the shoulder, and you are giving yourself the kind of pared down version, as it were, of your elbow side plank. If you would like the fuller version, you've still got options. And actually you could not lift you don't have to lift the arm if you don't want to. So if you want to come down and give me a version where you lift, you come onto the knees, you could just flip over. I'm flipping side to side for the camera. You can come down and give me that hip lift and then that arm lift. If you're okay to swap, it would be the full plank because it's easier to roll on your toes. So I would go up, my legs are split. I will come down on the elbow. Other hand is really helpful just to pop it down, put it out before you lift so you feel like the stacked hips and stacked shoulders are really working for you. When you're done with this one, let's open those knees. If you're standing, you can do a down dog. If you're here on the mat with me, let's do a child's pose. So breathing in, breathing out. Just staying there for me, having a few big deep breaths. I'm just going to take my jumper off, done the job, warm myself up. So from here, we've got some options because again, if you want to be elevated, you absolutely can. It's a brilliant idea, just taking any pressure off of the wrist. But we're going to go into some diamond push-ups and then some other push-ups that have a slightly different tempo. They're more chest, they're kind of a classic push-up. So with the diamond push-up, I'm going back to box position. It's a great place to be. If you want to do a full plank, it's because you know it and you know what you're doing. Otherwise, stick with me. So knees could be together. They could be in their parallel. Hands, we're going to have fingertips together. Hopefully you can see that, yeah. First fingers together, thumb together. Create that diamond shape. When you've got your diamond shape, don't worry about depth. It might be less than you're used to with a chest push-up. Gently guide yourself down and gently come up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the timer on for these and we're going to work for about 20 seconds. So don't worry about how many. Just think about the good quality. And I want exactly the same as when we did our up-down plank. I want all that attention to detail in the core. Lift the core as you press that breath out, as you push away from the floor. Transfer that energy into the arm line, into the upper back. Let's do 2 more. Let's do 1 more. And I can't be trusted because that was 30 seconds. So shake it out or even have a slightly different variation of stretching yourself out or breathing in and breathing out just to release the arms, or a simple roll might be nice for the shoulders. From here, you could give me a split option for a chest version of your push-up. So you could have hands on your mat, or mine are just kind of just off. And then the split might be what we did earlier with one leg out and one leg in, or one knee down rather. And you could give me, so again, we're going to do time. I'll call out, we'll do 30 seconds again. I'll call out the halfway, and if you want to swap legs, if it doesn't matter so much, but if you want to do one leg, but then you want to try a full plank, you could do that for half and half. If you're good to go right from the get-go with the plank, with the straight legs and the wider arms, you go. If you're standing, you can keep both feet down. If you're standing, you can elevate one leg, and that could be your little challenge. So I'm going to get the timer going. I'm going to do that split for the first sort of half, the first 15 seconds. Just positioning my hands, they don't feel quite right. Elbows go wide. Push away from the floor. Breathe in, breathe it out. If you're ready, swap legs or bring it up to a full plank. Then it's full plank with whatever depth, coming down and up with a nice straight spine. Lift out through the crown of the head, out through those heels. Breathe in, breathe it out. Last 2, last 1. Woo, yeah, we are done with being on our hands. I'm feeling it through those planks. So another one, gentle, but another one for the wrist is holding your fingers and fingers, and just gently pulling away there. If you do need the thumb to be part of it, just be careful because sometimes it's not always as kind to that stretch. I know you need it, but maybe it's after, not during. And then from here, we're going to do our little rock back. So this is where, if you've got that blanket or you've got the cushion or you've got a softer surface than I, then don't worry. But if you need to, you can roll up your mat either once or twice, and then pop your knees on. If you want to do this in a squat position and you want to be standing, absolutely you can. From here, when I stand, no, I'm not standing. When I kneel, when I kneel up straight, I do activate my glutes and I gently have a little bit of a lean back anyway. Otherwise, I'd be a bit like this, head front, bottom out in the middle, and then the knees. So we're trying to avoid that. Just have a kind of relaxed version of that, where the head is in line down to my knees. And then we're going to do a little pull. So it's a little bit of a row, a little bit of rotation. See where you go. I might never extend my arms. I might. Sometimes I don't know till I get there. But we've got the tuck and the lean back. So if you keep with the calm arms, the relaxed shoulders, we're going to breathe in and just have a very little lean back and pull. So if you want to do this standing, you could give me a squat and then a pull row rotation that is when you're standing. So you can give me a squat in the middle, stand up, squeeze the glutes, and then give me one side and the other, just as we're doing here. If you are here with me on the kneeling, let's have more from the core. Let's have more from the zip up, which gets your thighs. It gets the glutes actively engaged in this movement. Keep the shoulder blades down your back and just keep giving me calm arms, strong everything else. So you don't have to extend back if you don't want to. I'll just show you what one looks like on this side, but maybe you're only going to do a couple like that on one side. So maybe I've done two now on the same side. Same calm, then maybe you swap. So you give me one elbow one reach, pull back, elbow row and rotate, then a straighter arm. Are you okay to take both hands together, both elbows together? Whilst you go back, you rotate and twist very gently, very calmly, but you are controlled. We said this from the top, controlled movements. One more coming up each side here. Give it your best. Hold it. Hold. Center. Last twist and rotate. Hold it. Ooh. So if you had your mat rolled up, I would unroll, spin round, and let's stretch out your back, stretch out your legs. If you're okay to hold, if you've got that long band, you could loop it round, draw yourself down. I'm going to stay up here for a moment and then potentially I'll just go a little deeper over time. I'm just getting comfortable here. So stick with it. Just breathe where you can through any tight patches. Breathing in and breathing out. And then from here, I'm going to point those toes and just gently slide down. From here, again, you could stay put or you could get a little deeper. Breathing in and breathing out. From here, what we've got, as always, is options. So it's a reverse plank, it's a tabletop. It could very simply be tricep dips because you want to keep the bottom down, you want to keep the feet down, and you want to keep both of them down. So if you want the calmest, I'm not saying it's easy, it's the calmer. So it's less pressure. We would roll those shoulders, wiggle ourselves to get them even further behind. Have both fingertips, both hands, fingertips facing your bottom. And then you could already be in a little bit of this bent elbow, tricep dipping. And it's feet planted or feet flexed. And you're going to give it bend and extend. If you want to keep it quite calm, quite low key, you keep a slight softness. If you do want to have a little bit of lift, and you do want to have a little bit more depth into that drop, then I'll leave it with you. You can pause whilst I demo the next bit, or you can carry on and come in and out. If you want to come with me for tabletop or reverse plank, tabletop is straighter arms. They don't have to be entirely straight. And you could give me tricep dipping here in a tabletop. If you've come along for all options, you'll be getting quite a lot in. So breathe in, breathe out. If you're okay with this option, what we're going to put in is a classic reverse plank hold. So if you're doing either one of these options, you could hold them. So you could hold your tricep dip halfway down, or you could hold this tabletop. I'm going to do 2 more reps in and out. Here, you would hold, if you're good to go to reverse plank, without dropping right down, step those heels out, stay lifted. I've got pointed toes, hold it, 3, 2. Gently does it. Down you come. Might be a nice idea to stretch out by having the wider legs or the wide knees and being able to stretch your chest, stretch your arm line in a different way because I'm holding my toes. This stretches our upper back as well. And lifting. Then maybe slide to the ankles for me and give yourself some gentle but focused neck stretch into chest stretch. You know, you worked your chest earlier in the push-ups. Just give me one more each side. Lovely. Then we're going to try ourselves at the roll down. And then it can be hug, rock and roll to come back up. It could be anything. If you can go into the spine stretch forward, you'll do that as well. So what you might like is the hugging of the knees, either like rolling like a ball, so you could hug it tight. You could come back, and if you're not able to come up, what you might do is give me a roll to the side, and then give me a roll back that could get you down. So you could do a half roll down, and as you're coming, you could release those knees, you could roll it out, and then you could come over. If you like the half version, I would say leg almost extended or fully extended, but holding the other leg, and that will start you off in the process of rolling up. When you come down, same or other leg could help you in the same way. Little mini C curve, roll down. If you're good to go with a full version, lovely strong core, reach those arms, peel your vertebra off, and then you're a little bit more kind of ready, as it were, because the legs are already straight, to go into spine stretch forward. As I come down, just the same, soft rhythmical movement to get me down. So you'll have the natural arch of your lower back into mid back, but when you're coming up, try to imprint your spine. Easier said than done, I know. When you're over the top, if you don't want the pointed toes, give me the flexed feet. Give me a stretch, give me a hold, because it really benefits your calves and your hamstrings. And then should you want it, you could have the half roll down, and you could come here and rest it out. When you're ready to mix it up and challenge yourself, remember you are rolling up, rolling over. We're not trying to throw the arms up, throw the torso up, or really throw ourselves forward into that forward bend, into that spine stretch forward. It's peeling, it's rolling, it's taking control once more. Let's maybe do 2 more. So if you're doing a single side, you give me 1 each side. Breathe in, zip up the core, breathe out. Go slower than you think, go further than you think. Come back through, last one. Come down super slow. Calm, breathe in, zip up your core, lift it, roll over the top. Perfect. And again, here, we're just going to release ourselves. So I'm going to come around. I know you've just been stretching the body, but because it's a different movement pattern, I'm just going to come back round, flat hands or fists, because I know you have been on your hands earlier. And then just a very classic cat-cow, but I find that sometimes there's a little bit of something needed. So it could be round and push and press. It could be circles for my hips. So I hope this is transferring through the screen for you. I could roll it round one side. I might not have the same flexibility on the other side, so I could just do a hip dip that nudges me side to side, or I could do a little bit. So this, be careful how you feel through the flexion of your wrist when you give me circles or push pressing, side to side movements that are actually putting weight through your wrist. So be careful of that, but definitely you can give me some child's pose that goes into cat-cow and pulls you back and brings you up. Not quite into cobra yet. If you want to, you might have already gone there, but we're actually coming into Sphinx for some upper back extension. So at the moment, I'm just pulling my spine, stretching it out. And then from here, like I said, we're going to come into Sphinx. So this one is one where you're down on the tummy. So if you don't like it for a number of reasons, you could give me that flow, or a little bit of hold in the child's pose, or the supported cobra, but we're going to come down into Sphinx that then goes into Sphinx and cobra from the floor for a change. So Sphinx is your U-shaped arms. To get us there, we're going to walk down, We're going to ease onto your tummy. We're going to wiggle it out a little bit. When we wiggle it out, it's just releasing my tummy and releasing my thighs. I've normally always got my head up so you can hear me, but if you want to keep your head in more of a neutral, please do. U shape of the arms either side of your mat. Elbows are pretty much in line with my shoulders. Palms, elbows, forearms, all down on the mat. Let's activate that core engagement. So gently does it, but pull your tummy button away from the floor. Breathe in where you are, and if you're able to, let's have a tiny, tiny little bit of lift from your chest, coming away from the mat. I have a slightly different variation for me personally, where I'm going to squeeze those thighs and I'm able to get everything but my hips, so my tummy button and through where the waistband is, that part of my tummy is off of the mat. This takes time, it takes confidence. You do not have to go to that version, but you'll notice it's a stronger version if you do it. Breathe in, engage that core, see if you can hold up here for me. Hold those shoulders down your back. Could you hover the legs? Could you gently swing those legs whilst you're here? So calm. They're not flinging about. They're not going side to side. I'm staying lifted through the chest. Draw your shoulder blades down your back. Engage your thighs. Engage your glutes. Flutter those legs. 3, 2, pop the hands down. Lift it up. This one might be the very widest because we're quite warm now. The widest child's pose we've done so far together. But you might like the extended version. And it may or may not do you a good service to gently hold a forward position. It might not be the deepest forward position with the wide legs that you've ever done, but it still could be really nice and helpful to open up your hips. So go with the flow here. If you want your flow to come back to a parallel legs and more of that classic cobra, let's do it. Breathing in, breathing out. What we're going to do is exactly the same thing. One last time, excuse me, but we're going to come down into that Sphinx. And those fluttering legs could be a go again for you, or you didn't try them, so you can. Or you're going to give me a straight leg hold. So you can hold both legs off and have one slightly higher, or one stays on the floor and one is more reaching with lift. It's not fling that leg up, it's more reach and extend and hold it, pop it down, go with the other. So there's a little holding element if you want it. And you're also back in that Sphinx. If you don't want to be in Sphinx, but you just want to lift the legs, you could rest your head on your hands. So here I go. I'm in that Sphinx position with the arms. I'm set up to inhale. When I exhale, I'm going to lift the chest, draw those shoulder blades down, lift one leg, hold it, breathing in, breathing out. Glutes on fire, so is the thigh, breathing in, breathing out. Pop that leg down, other leg, you're being lifted through the crown of the head, and you're lifted out through those toes of that leg that's behind you. The lift is barely there, but I really do feel it. Swap sides. Come down a little bit in the torso. Breathe in, lift and hold. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Release. Last one, last side. Lift through the crown of the head. Lift the core. Engage the glutes. Engage the thigh. 3, 2, 1. Woo. Again, might be a little of the opposing wiggle through the lower back, through the hips, or a very classic cat and hold it. So go with what feels good. Breathing in, breathing out. Release and tuck again. Release and tuck again. And then from here, what we're going to come to, we're going to come around and pick a side. So we already did our side plank, but we were rotating side to side. What we're going to do is we're going to do a leg kick front and a leg kick back. And there's a chance that you'd like to do it in that kneeling, not necessarily a full plank, but a kneeling side plank. You'd like to maybe do it with the straight arm or on the elbow. So I'll give you all options. I'm just going to come down and give you the lying down version first. So you could lie all the way down, bent knee, straight leg. Just check you've not got anything right behind you. I've got to move forward a little bit. And then you're going to sweep front and kick back. So it's all through my hip and through my core. Point, kick. I have a little bit of a pendulum swing there with my torso. Same thing on the elbow, side plank, knee, sweep. You could kick. If you want to, this hand comes up, comes down. Don't begin lifting that leg right up. You're sliding forward, kicking back. Would you like it up here? That is the question. Sweep, kick, sweep, kick. We don't have to do loads because the combined number is going to get us in the end. 2, 1. Woo, lovely. So, not too hard unless you do all of those. So I'm going to do the same thing just to remind you what's what. So we're probably doing about between 10 and 12 or potentially 15 reps by the time you get through all those. Or if you are just going to do them in groups, you could do that as well. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to just gently rest myself. The bent leg is a nice one. But sweep it, kick it, breathe in, breathe out. You're rocking through a little bit of torso front and a little bit of get out of the way torso. So I want to hollow my belly, use those lower abs, kick front, kick back. If you want to come up on the elbow, this is a nice one again to maybe push deeper for the kick out. And again, out of your own way, when you sweep that straight leg to the front, we've got this. Breathe in, breathe it out. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to come up for those last ones. Let's maybe do 3 or 4 up here. T-shaped arm as well for a challenge. Kick it, reach it, sweep it. Let's do 2 more. Almost there. Last one. Perfect. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So, from here, last and final, let's come round, bring you down. When we're lying on our back, we're going to come into single leg stretch, and then a little bit of bicycle gets us going to kind of work into those obliques again. If you remember, we did the kneeling a while ago, and then we'll round it back off to have our relaxation. So, roll down if you're not already there for me. Hug in, might as well. Just rock out through those, through your lower back, just gently rocking and rolling. When we're ready for single leg stretch, we hug in and we stretch out. Just breathing in and breathing out. Let yourself inhale where you are when you've got your lower back attached to the mat. When you're exhaling, you could curl up and stretch. If you prefer to inhale the legs in and out, but keep your shoulders back and down, you could mix and match some coming up and some coming down. So I've got my leg extended, I've got the hand inside and outside of knee and ankle. You could always come down on one and always come up on the other. So down and out. What a nice option that would be if you feel confident enough to give me a very slight, speedier version because you're up and it flows without the time it takes to get the head and shoulders down. It's not speedy, it's lovely and controlled. We're not yanking or pulling anything, you're just coming in and out for me. Let's do 3. We've got 2. Last ones. And again, when you're here for stretch or pause, you might open the knees, have the soles of the feet together for something different. You might like that up and elevated instead. But when you're ready for it, we're going to challenge ourselves to do your version of a crisscross or the bicycle. So if you want to give me this version where your feet stay down and I've got my hand holding my head, I could do this version where you actually release your elbow and crunch in, or release the elbow and get it over, but I haven't yanked my entire torso. And then what you could do is give you sort of 5 to 10 on one side, drop to do the other. If you're okay to do it from down here with fingertips resting on your temples, you could give me a down and up and a side to side, from the mat to the crunch, from the mat to the opposite side. And that could be an easy one to do the side to side, still with a 10, and then if you want to do 10 more having had a rest, you can. If you're good to go with an option that has curl up the entire time, that's what I'm going to do next, and that's the one I'm going to finish on. So breathe in, imprint my lower back, float one leg up, float the other. Fingertips and temples, curl up, get up a little bit more for me, so get right into it. When you're ready, go slow, center, slow. Where are you with that elbow? Is it on the knee? Is it on the inside or is it on the outside of that thigh? What are you feeling through that straight leg? Can you get it straighter for me? Could you press those toes away? Could you give me some extra hold on these? So I want slow, slow tempo. Finish with a beautiful, strong, controlled movement. I want us to feel this last one all the way to the end, these ones. Let's keep it going. You've got 5 more per side. Breathe in when the knees are in. Breathe out here. Stretch that leg. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more each side. Keep going. Get further round with those elbows. 2 more. Nearly there. 1 more each side. And pause. Oh yes, we are done. So where is your pause? Is it the wiggle of the ankles? Do you have that band and you want to pull it in? Are you okay staying where you are? Would you like a curl up? I know you literally have just done it, but sometimes it is helpful to enhance your stretch. If you're fine with the head down, maybe you can creep up. The flexibility has come. You're creeping up that leg. Same as earlier, you can pop those soles of the feet together, release into our inner thighs here, into the pelvic area as a whole, and you can stay here and you can close those eyes and you can breathe your way through for me. Breathing in, breathing out, breathe into the chest. Give me some nice audible breaths where you let that breath really release any tension through the body. If you want the legs extended, you just gently slide them out, drop them out in front of you, to the side, into a V shape. I really don't mind, but breathing your way through. If you want to do this with movement that helps you stretch whilst you're there, you absolutely can. If you're fine to just let that breath wash over the back of the body, then let's go with the flow. Feel and sense that exhale kind of take charge to relax the back of the body. Breathe in and let the inhale rise up and breathe into your chest. Exhale, release all that tension for me. Breathing in and breathing out. Lovely, strong, strong, focused breathing. Breathe through the entirety of your body. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, falling away. Breathe in. Exhale. Lovely, calm, deep breaths for about 2 or 3 more for me. Letting yourself settle down into your mat just a little bit deeper still. And when you're ready for that movement that's going to bring you on up to me, I'm already here seated and cross-legged. Any way you like to come and meet me here, it could be hugging both knees in, it could be a bit of wiggle through the hips and some rolling circles through the knees. Could very simply just release yourself to the side, slowly come round, and here you are. So when I'm here, I'm going to do that over-exaggerated roll that actually is single-sided, but nothing is on its own, really, is it? Because I'm actually moving through my waist and getting into my chest and into my back. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So it's a bit of an actual over-exaggerated lean, and then pull it round, pull it through, and then let's just pull both with you and drop the chin. Let's go forward, lift and roll. Tuck chin whilst you drop the shoulders, and then just loosely wiggle it out a little bit. Loosely shake out the wrists and the fingers and all those thumb finger connections. And then interlaced hands is a lovely strong one to stretch our back for the last time in this particular position. Then bring those hands with you. If you're okay, you might look or you might look up, but you're going to go into a side bend here. Interlaced hands or not, you don't have to. When you come down, just swap sides and really exaggerate the stretch of the arm. It's not as deep as if someone held you or you were holding on to something, but it's a nice way to stretch your chest. So I'm just going to go the other way. And then just a little bit more of the same. Both fingertips behind, bringing that kind of equality back and that rhythm to our breathing. You're opening with the chest here. And as you come out, let's have a nice classic side bend. So keep the opposite hip in this stretch the entire time because you're keeping that sitting bone down. And then when you're ready, let's get ourselves going. Breathing your way through the other side. Breathing in, breathing out. And when you're done, one last little shoulder roll, one last little neck mobilization as you come through and up. You come down and out. You go around. And you go around. Perfect. What more could I ask for apart from you coming back? So thank you so much. I do hope you enjoyed that one. That was your whistle stop tour of some side planks, some up and down, working the core, working your arms, working our legs, stretching, releasing, and having fun. So thank you so much for joining me. I will see you very, very soon.